Alright, I'm tripping. I'm high back. Alright. Action now. So, welcome to the first video of what they need, I guess. I found a better title for it, but that's kind of what I put it in my notes. But basically, it's putting an NBA player from the past. They have to be somewhat away from the current NBA, but not really. There's some current players. There's no current player comps, but there are some current past retired players, is what I mean to say. But so they're gonna be on every team, one player for each. The better overall the player is what I thought the worse the team would be in that year, and then the lower the overall is how good I thought that team was going to be in the year. The range is, I think, from 90 to, I think the lowest is 80, so it's 90 to 80. So it's a pretty, you get a solid player. But anyway, let's get straight to it. So I have an article about it, but right now, so this is going to be more of kind of a recap video. So read my article on Damn It Guys, Coach is Right. I'll drop a link to that article in the description, so you can read that. But this is basically kind of, we're in the halfway point of the year. So let's just get a recap on where these teams are. So it's kind of based off of real life as well. We have the 76ers at the 10th seed. In real life, they sit at the 11th seed, so they're somewhat similar in this. I do play it day by day. As you can see, it's on the 23rd. There's not that many games each day. Like, I only play, I think, a 26 game season. And I think I would say 60% of these games are played, 40% are probably simmed. But so yeah, so the next game I have on this docket is the Kings Warriors, and I've been waiting for that one because the Kings have been on their hot streak. So that's kind of why it's been on the 23rd. But so they don't have really a game for a little bit until the 27th. And they have that back-to-back, and that's pretty big in this simulation because you do get huge gaps in your schedule, as you can see here. But so let's get. I'm taking a lot on that team, but I'm basically just explaining the league to you first. So first we got, so their average is going to be interesting as well because I don't play 12-minute quarters, of course. But he is having a very good season, Tyrese Maxey. And they have Lorenzo Trent, who is the Pistons version of like young Dennis Rodman. And yes, it is a Travis Scott face scan. And he is there's two other rappers in this, but he is the only one that has actually body tattoos, so he's the coolest. That's why he doesn't really have any. He's some interesting accessories. But yeah, they've been kind of in the mud because they've had a bunch of injuries, and we know how struggling the 76ers have been. And how I do injuries in this is, if you are in the starting five and you are injured in real life, then I injure you in the game. And I play fantasy basketball, so I know if you injured or not. I know. But but so say if Andre Drummond came up here, I know I'm gonna have to probably injure him on this next game, but he has until the 27th, like I said, to play. So he's a good amount of time to come back. But if he doesn't make it by that game, I'm gonna have to injure him because I believe he is injured in real life. So because of course Joel Embiid starts, so if Andre Drummond comes up and he gets injured in real life, then they are out of a big man, or it's Yabusele having to slide up there. But basically that's how the injuries work in the game. But if you get a season-ending injury, like Jared McCain, sometimes he wasn't in the starting lineup because Eric Gordon was in the starting lineup, even though he is at 80. He was at 83 overall. He had a season-ending injury, so he is out for the game and for the it works for this as well. And any real life trade that happens in real life what happened in this, and I also do the roster updates, but in a different way, in my fashion. I'll get that into a whole other video. But yeah, so basically that's we can move on from the 76ers. We go on to the Bucks, who have been catching up a lot better play, and it's kind of their 2K schedule benefited them heavily in this, because they had those losses when they were losing in real life. Like, they had those bad losses, as you can see here. They were also in this game. Like, a loss to the Pelicans early in the season is a bad one, and to the Pistons as well early in the season. But then, as you can see here, they caught a little bit of a win streak, and a lot of the back-to-back teams that have had the Clippers on their docket next. But so they have Lil Durk. Shout out Lil Durk. Even though he might be jailed up, prisoned up. Oh, Dark Wolf. Yes, of course I got a face cam. But right here, I'm right here. What do you want to? We can talk. We can have a good time. Thank you for showing up to the stream. But yeah, so we got Lil Durk. See how I got him in the game? Shout out. He averaging 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. By the way, I didn't show the stats really of Lorenzo Trent, but he is having a doo-doo season. 5 points in the modern NBA, pretty bad. But then he's getting those boards, like I said. He is Dennis Rodman, so he's rebounding the hell at the ball. But so this team bouncing back up in their standings. They are the 5th seed in real life. They're the 5th seed in the game, of course, and they are the 4th seed in real life. So maybe that the Clippers win will push them up to the 5th seed, into the 4th seed, and that would be correct as real life is. And Lil Durk's player comp is, I believe, let me look at my notes. Yes, he is Hershey Hawkins, Bradley alum. Shout out Hershey Hawkins. Let me go over to the Bulls. The Bulls have kind of put themselves back into that they're keeping the 76ers out of the play-in basically right now, but I did not think they were going to be good. I gave them a 92 overall. Paul Pierce, who's been averaging 24 and 3, and he getting that 1.9 steals. And look at the splits: 50% from 3. 50% from the field goal and 40% from 3. He's been gas. They've lost some. These 2 games were kind of two hard losses, but look, they're getting the good win with the Warriors, and they're beating the Jazz. They haven't had their games. I think more of their games come later. Right here in this big clump right here will be really important for their just how they will stand out in the play-in or something in this league. They are sit at the 9th seed right now. They sit in the 10th seed in my in real life. Yeah, so. They've been staying afloat. I think that Paul Pierce build low key, like once the playoffs, how the playoffs works. So it's the gameplay I play whatever team is like the higher team in the higher team in the standings. So usually I win the game, and that's why the standings are very similar. But in the playoffs, I just play whoever I enjoy the most. And if this 92 and this player right here has been very enjoyable to play. So if this be a team that if they made the play-in, I could see them sneakily making the playoffs. So I could just have some more fun in a playoff series with Paul Pierce. Moving on to the there's bias in this. I will not lie. Moving on to the best team that we have gotten to so far. And the best team in the East, and they're in this as well, the number one, both in the East and in the game. They have so their guy is very interesting also, because it's kind of their player that I made. All these players have kind of hit their overalls, like in real life. Like Paul Pierce has been a 92 overall in real life. Hershey Hawkins has been an 83 overall in other 2Ks. And yeah, you can definitely decrease a Dennis Rodman, but there has never been, I don't think, in any other 2K. I thought he was higher than this. But I still don't think he's hit this. I don't think there's ever been an 85 overall Trevor Ariza, but this is Trevor Ariza right here as Dion Thornton, and he's shooting he had 8 points, 49%. So he's kind of a sentinel shooter right now and playing some 3-and-D basketball. But he gives you that 6'8" body, so like he makes that front court really nice. Here's just like a more bigger frame of him. Well, I can show you this would be better. He has that bigger frame, as you can see. He's next to maybe Jared Allen. So yeah, he's been really good for this team. They're definitely going to be a fun team to use in the playoffs. But I don't know, they also have been very healthy. Because they've been very lucky. Because when Donovan Mitchell is out in some of these in real life games, he is not out like on these specific dates. So they've been also very lucky that like their real life injuries have been dodging my game injuries. So that's just how the game works, though. And it works because they've been lucky in real life, and they've been lucky in they've been playing good basketball in real life. But we all know that they've had higher they've hit higher status than anyone thought they would hit. Moving on to the Boston Celtics, we have them sitting at the 2nd seed, and they also sit at the 2nd seed in real life. And right now, so we got Sean Livingston from as Sam Lewis, and he's been very fun because Derek White and Drew Holiday have missed some games, and I never really get the full use of Drew Holiday. He's the defender, but I kind of like scoring with Derek White more. He has 11 points. None of them are hitting their stats, but he's actually coming off the bench. He's the lowest because I thought the lowest in this, like I said, an 80 overall, but he is very fun. 80 overall, Sean Livingston is very fun. Not shooting a single 3 on the season, just a mid-range killer. That's all I use him for. And he has been also assisting, and it's been nice because Peyton Pritchard's looking like a 6th Man of the Year candidate, and so he's been getting some upgrades as an 83 overall right now. So their bench is looking actually deeper because Al Horford gets dropped down here now with Porzingis being back. So this bench is actually like a real usable bench because Sam Hauser in 2K is not all that, and neither is Luke Cornett. And yeah, so it really makes this team also overpowered at times. Just defensively now as well because they added another lengthy defender. Moving on to Josh is one of Josh's favorite teams. They've had Kawhi Leonard back. I was able to play some games with him, but I'm excited for this stretch right here because this is big because they have Kawhi Leonard back. They have an interesting player with Teddy Moore. They have Paul Millsap. So Paul Millsap's averaging this is Utah Jazz Paul Millsap. So he averaging 17, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Shooting 59% from 3. So he's really been burning it, and he got a lot of I have to use him a lot when Kawhi Leonard was out, and James Harden's really fun to use in 2K, averaging 16 and 8. And then Norman Powell, he's averaging. He's not averaging what he is in real life, but he is averaging higher than his last season stats, which is exactly what I wanted to emphasize his impact of the year. But I've been trying to get him to average 20 points, but he's been kind of tough. He has a slower jump shot in the game, and it's tougher. But yeah, they also have like good players like Mo Bamba, who's fun to use in 2K, who's not really all that usable in real life. But the Clippers are fun, and I'm excited for this stretch right here. This is the first Western Conference team, I believe, too, right? This is the 7th. They sit at the 7th seed, and in real life right now, they sit at the 6th seed. So this stretch will. It'll be interesting. They definitely might go 50-50 here, and I think they're going to come out with losing a little bit more games here because of how many away games are here, which is, as you see, the red, and the home games are the blue. So there's a lot of away games here that don't look in their favor as well. Moving on to my boy Eddie's favorite team, Tissapore. You'll see him in on the giblets, the clown station. This is his favorite team here. We got the Grizzlies, and with the Grizzlies here, we got we have Larry Johnson, but I made him have the jump shot of Paul Millsap. I mean, no, not Paul Millsap, Al Horford in real life. So I kind of wanted him to give him modern day shooting, but this is Larry Johnson, averaging 14-8. Just kind of wanted to be him the post scoring rebounder, because Jaren Jackson Jr. is not the best rebounding big. So I kind of wanted to give them like that bully ball fun one. And I remember I just played this game against the Pelicans, where Zion gave me 26 and 10, but he shot a lot of shots, 26. But it was fun to bang around with Pickett, and he was like a bigger body. I shot doo-doo with him that game. We ain't gonna talk about the splits. I shot decent with Ja, and I shot good with Wells. Wells has been insane in 2K for me, so it was fun to have a good Wells game. Also, just I don't know, I don't get the most burn out of some of these players. I try to give it I try to share the rock. I'm a share the rock fella. But so they stand at 4 in and they stand at 3 in real life. So also I see a lot of these teams are just worn off. So that's kind of like the trend of it. So next we got the Hawks, who have been honestly fun to watch in real life, but have been that mid team just in the standings. But they sit at the 8th seed, and this they sit at the 6th seed. Yeah, so this is one team that, yeah, like I said, I've been having a little bit more fun with them in 2K than they are actually in real life, because they are a fun team to use, because just how Trae Young's been able to. I kind of like it's more versatile, because I gave them they have the guy from the Grizzlies as well. I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on his name right now. Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Yeah, Sharif Abdul-Rahim. This is who they have. I always forget the pronunciation of his name, but yeah, just all around like 4-man. So it's kind of fun to pair him with Jalen Johnson, because it truly puts him at that 3, which is like a pure jumbo big. Kind of like feeling like a even bigger Paul George almost at times. So I really like that I gave them Brandon Mitchell. Because he also because the main purpose I gave him, because they're small when Okongwu was out there, so I was like, if we just gave them a jumbo power forward that can basically do everything, then there's no problem when Okongwu starts. So yeah, so I'll show you what Trae's averaging, just because he's been interesting. So he's averaging 24 and 7. The assists are harder because they block a lot of the alley-oops more this year, which I've been noticing. And I thought he was going to be more of an alley-oop threat, but he's been more of he's been very, very interesting. The gameplay with him is interesting. I wasn't actually expecting him to average 15. I was expecting that to be a little bit lower, and the other stats to be higher. Next we got the oh my goodness, we got the Heat. As you can see, Jimmy Butler is not in the lineup. They have Herbert Armstrong, and that is Penny Hardaway. We'll do it right now. I'll put it live on camera. I'll give you $1,000. But, where is it at? Boom, tendencies. Where is he at? Boom, shot. Oh, hell yeah. You know what? This is he's gonna change. You're gonna see an increase in a difference of his play in the 4 key. Yeah, Penny Hardaway didn't shoot them threes in the 4 team and shooter, because he is like, when I play against him, I'm like, why is he not shooting that? Why is he not attacking the basket like that? He's not playing like Penny Hardaway. He's not Penny Hardaway. I'm so sorry. He's Kevin Johnson. Penny Hardaway was last year. I'm looking at my notes and they had the last year, but yeah, he not scoring as much as I really need him to be in 88 overall. I wanted him to be attacking the basket a lot more. So I just had to do that to him right quick because it's been the Tyler Hero show, and I didn't want that to truly be what the 2K felt like because I don't really like watching it in real life. So who we got? Oh, he puffing and mad. Pickett. Ooh, Pickett. He like Pickett. But yeah, no, it's fun to use. I've been using Khalil Ware the whole year, and he averaged 1 point, so he about to get a huge boost. So that'd be fun because I run a 12-man roster, but this team be losing a lot, so I don't really use them that often. So and Khalil Ware doesn't get that many minutes because when I break it down to these sort of games, 12-man roster teams do not really do that great in this simulation. Next we got the Hornets, who I gave them Michael Redd. Shout out the great Michael Redd, 2K legend, with Nikola Popovich. So I was like added like a foreign scent to Michael Redd, and he been nasty. 18 points. Not been passing the ball really with 3 assists. Michael Redd stats, you feel me? Not shooting the greatest. He's hitting the 40%, but you see all some of the other guys had it higher. But just as fun 6'6" guy, also from Serbia. But 88 overall, like I said, this team was not going to be all that great. I probably should have put him higher, if we're being honest. Because Michael Redd, like his peak is 88. It would have been fun to give him like a 90 overall Michael Redd, maybe. But yeah, he's gonna get a huge boost in this. If he does not get a huge boost in the next 2K overall boost, he needs to, because 82 overall has not been enough. Because he has the 5 rebounds. Like when that's basically like the purest of the overall with the big men, is that like the overall, like it's gonna matter when we're talking about these other guys. Like Bam Adebayo's not even playing that great, but he basically scoops those 8 boards. But if you're watching real ball, Mark Williams is playing low key better than Bam Adebayo. But this team down in the gutters, they're the 14th. They're the 14th seed in real life, and I believe they sit 12th. They sit 12th. I had some fun games with LaMelo. I will not lie. So that is fun to see them at 12th, but they'll probably drop down even more sitting at the 14th seed. And they lose to the Pistons, they lose to the Blazers and the Spurs here. That would definitely knock them down some pegs. Moving on to the Utah Jazz. We got the Utah Jazz here sitting at the 15th seed in real life as well. I gave them Gordon Hayward because he retired from the league, and I just wanted to pay a homage to him because I thought this team wasn't going to be that great this year. So it's going to be fun to just give him a prime Gordon Hayward, because Gordon Hayward never was really able to bounce back in his career. So Gordon Hayward's been, you saw averaging 16 and 5 and 3. This team's just been dead in the water. I have not used this team at all. Terrence Howard does give me buckets with the CPU, so when I do get around to him, I do drop buckets with him as well. Taylor Hendricks, I forgot he was in. But yeah, just tough stuff right there. They don't play for some time, which is nice because I felt like they played. Yeah, they had a big stretch. That's a crazy schedule right there. They just played it every day right here. What weekday is that? I don't know, but they played every day that day. But yeah, they're pretty much done for the season. I'm glad that the Jazz are kind of wrapped with their gameplay. Next we got the Kings. Oh, we're already at the Kings? Oh. Yeah, so Kings, like I said, I'm saving this game. They have the next game. And they've been bouncing back in real life. And they have a really fun player. In one of the only times I do this, I gave them a player that played for this team as well. It's a mix. It's Peja Stojakovic, because I thought he was 6'10". I swore he was 6'10", but he was not. He was 6'8". So I gave him the measurements of Wally Szczerbiak, and so yeah. So and it kind of they're very similar players, but he's not shooting the ball that much. But that's as nice as a mix of players would be. But yeah, no, he really has been fun to use when this team has been bouncing back, because he stretches the floor, and that's exactly what this team needs. Shout out Grady Online. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot of this team's been fun. They sit right now at the 8th seed, and they are in real life the 9th seed. So yeah, they'll definitely bounce. They'll definitely beat this Warriors team. That's why that's the next game I have. I'm gonna play as them. So that will definitely boost them up a little bit. I think this will be. We'll stop on. Drop in the chat what team you want me to stop on for my break. It's either gonna be we'll do either be the Lakers or we'll do the Mavericks. Drop in the chat. Lakers or Mavericks. Which team should we stop on for the break? But next we got the Knicks. We got the Knicks here, and they have had a good season as well as the 3rd seed, and as you saw right there, the 3rd seed. They have had the boost of Karl-Anthony Towns playing very, very good, and they have a so they had the trade that happened as well. I forgot about this. I made it's in the bottom of the article that I wrote. I had a trade about it, but so they traded. They originally they had David West, but then they traded David West for it was the Spurs player. What's his name? Alvin Robinson. Albert Robertson. Very good steals. So he's been on this team, and he comes off the bench averaging 11-1, but at 1.9 steals. Doesn't shoot the 3. He kind of is like the same mold as that Sean Livingston, but he's at that 6'4" frame, so he's not that lethal of a mid-range shooter, but he's more lethal on defense, which is fun to use him. But this team originally had David West, who's now on the Timberwolves. But yeah, so all you see all the stars right here are on fire. And even Precious Achiuwa right there is on fire. But yeah, no, fun team to use overall this year. Jalen Brunson feels like a guard that like is almost unstoppable, like in the paint this year. I feel like a lot of the guards get blocked, but he really is unstoppable in the paint. We've been making this team fun. Next, we got the Lakers. I'm gonna stop on the Lakers here. We have Gabe Vincent's stats are so poop. But we have a really fun one. Probably we have my boy Clifford Robinson passed away, so I kind of want to pay also homage to him. A stretch. Also, really just elevate. Here's an evolution to the game of basketball, because if you go to his basketball reference, he was one of the first guys in the 2000s to play. He played the center position, he played the power forward position, and he played the small forward position. So, and he was at 6'10" frame at these measurements. So he's kind of fun. He is really light on his feet. He stretches the floor. He's on the bench right now because of the Dorian Finney-Smith trade, but he was starting the beginning of the year because Anthony Davis does like to play the power forward more than the center. But they've been needing more of a center role off the bench, and that's kind of been what his role has been. But he definitely, as you see, gets 28 minutes, and he has times out there with Anthony Davis out on the floor. They sit right now at the 5th seed in the game, and I believe they sit at the 5th seed in real life, and that is where they sit at. So, thank you very much for watching this half of the video. We'll get back and do this second half of the video after this break, and I'll see you after that. So we back after the break. We stopped on the Magic. It's a new day. I had to stop recording. I had some technical difficulties in the middle of there. But we are back. Same hoodie, different beanie. Still black beanie though, to keep the vibes. Same. I couldn't find my
shiesty, so I had to just slap on this beanie with the finger on it. But we stopped on the Magic. The Magic also, I might have to tweak this guy similar to how I tweaked the. We do have Franz back, so this would be a team. This would be a team that will get some players back. But Pistol Pete Maravich is who's the guy supposed to be, and Blake Palmer, and he just hasn't really been Pistol Pete-ish. I wish going back to it, I knew the Magic were gonna have trouble shooting the ball, and I knew I should have given him a better, just all-around score than just a 6'5" jumbo guy. But I kind of wanted him to be the similar stature as Anthony Black because I didn't know how great he was gonna play. So this guy just basically plug and play for Anthony Black in the starting lineup while still getting the 70 overall Anthony Black. Just, yeah, I just wish he would shot the ball a little bit better. You know, B+. I should have given them probably a better shooter, but he's having 19 points, 8 assists, and he just shoot 42% from 3, but again on a very, very small clip. Right now they sit in the 7th in the East. They're at the top for a long time. So yeah, so this is probably the most different because at a certain period in time they were the 4th seed in the East, and when a team drops or a team rises dramatically, it's kind of hard. The rising is way easier than the dropping in 2K just because I can't take those wins away from you, but I can almost kind of like flush those losses away from you, if that makes sense. So like you see here with the Bucks, like they're 9 and 10, but they're at the 5th seed because they just beat all these other teams that haven't played as many games. So different on that end. So that's just kind of where they sit at right now. Hopefully the Magic do make the playoffs, and hopefully they have some star guys in there because the Pistol Pete Maravich build, he's honestly been getting some of the best usage out of all of these players because Franz and Paulo Banchero have been missing some time, and the creative players don't ever miss a game. So he's been in there for all of these 16 games. Moving on to the Mavericks, who another Western Conference team. Glad we get into our Western Conference bag in the second part of the video. They sit the 9th seed right now, and right now they sit the 3rd seed. Really, really different drastically wise. Like I said, they were playing really good with Luka and Kyrie, similar to kind of how the Magic were, where they were playing good, and then Luka went out. However, Leroy Williamson is Rudy Gay, and he's been having 13. I thought Rudy Gay was going to have a little bit better defense than what he's been doing. He's doing a block. He has a steal, but I wish he got that block. And just shooting an absolute 30% from 3. I mean, I know Rudy Gay's not the best 3-point shooter, but I kind of wanted him to still be able to play the 3 rather than a 4. Shooting 31%. I mean, what's PJ Watt? Yeah, 36%. I mean, he's shooting better. He's at the 4. I mean, you also go to the bench. Here you got Najee Marshall shooting 55. I know his usage is really low, shooting 6% on the field, but just kind of disappointed in that aspect. But really not disappointing in the standings, as you see there. They're 10 and 3. They have not had that many games. They had a couple games right here, and then a huge break right here in December. And that's kind of where they started losing games. I can't make them lose to the Wizards, but I can make them lose to the Spurs. You feel me? I can't make them lose to the Nets. But so yeah, this will be interesting because I feel like these are going to be some bad losses right here, and I'm gonna have to give them the losses here, maybe with the Pacers and the Bulls, and maybe they beat the Pelicans here. And then we have trade deadline, which is kind of crazy to say that trade deadline's already right there, kind of seeing it pop up. Yeah, so they're an interesting team. Could see them being fun in the playoffs if they have Luka back at full health, because Luka's just a monster in 2K as well, and that's when this team fully gets the use out of the Rudy Gay build, rather than just it being Kyrie for right now. Next, we probably had the best player in the entire thing. I thought the Nets were going to be the worst team. They do look like they were really bad. So it was really fun to use this guy when they were winning the games at the beginning of the season. And I caught a dub with him against the Jazz. And I put out a show, I thought, with the Warriors because they had it's Lucas Wesley, and this right here is supposed to be Alex English. He averaging 23 points. He got the turnovers up there because he getting high usage. I wish he had a higher steal because he is Alex English and he's supposed to be like older. The older players have better defense in 2K, but as you see, he had 2 steals here. But he's just been amazing for this team. Playing the small forward, 6'8", just been putting on a show for them, to be honest. And having D'Angelo Russell on this team, it kind of gives them different looks. And takes the ball out of Lucas Wesley's hands, because it really was just Cam Thomas, and Cam Thomas was missing some games. So one of the games that Cam Thomas was gone, it really was Lucas Wesley, and it's been tough. And that's kind of what this league is supposed to be. All teams are really, like, the parity is supposed to be at the highest level, because even the worst teams are getting these 90 overalls. That should put them still in games, and it's going to be hard. You're still going to have to beat a 90 overall every single night. So just adds more competition throughout the league. And Ben Simmons has been really good. I want to show you his stats: 4, 4, 3. Hasn't shot a 3 yet, and bad from the free throw line. Oh my goodness, I cannot shoot with him there. But he's been just kind of been fun, because I have to put him at the point guard because they lost Shake Milton, and I like to just have the 2 scoring guards out there at the same time, just to give them the most bang for your buck right here. But interesting team. I don't see this team making any moves, so just having fun with Lucas Wesley in the regular season while I can. I think that's kind of just the way you should do it with those bottom teams. You'll see with the Wizards, I haven't really gotten to my groove with their guy yet, but I want to get into a groove with their guy later. Next, we got a big one right here for the Nuggets. Oh, my fault. I didn't show you the standings for the Nets. The Nets currently sit at the 12th seed in real life, and right now they sit at the 14th seed. So, still at the bottom of the league. The 14th seed is going to be tough to get you back up. They'll even a little bit, but 12th seed in real life, they could maybe make the play-in, but that's not really what they want to do. So I think me having them lower is going to be beneficial to me later in the season. Then we have the Nuggets, who sit at the 6th seed and the 7th seed in real life. They have Kerry Kittles. I kind of wanted to put Kerry Kittles because I believe he went to Villanova. I kind of wanted to put him on the Knicks just to give him another Villanova player, but he's kind of been fun. Been a very good replacement for KCP, shooting 52% from 3, even better than his field goal percentage, and that's pretty much just the clip of where he's shooting the ball at. 10 points. He gets that 1.7 steals a game. He's been basically that point of attack defender that they need for this team, and it's not Christian Braun. And Christian Braun's able to then come off the bench, and he's had an actually decent year as well. 8 points. And then shooting 59% from the field, but a very good slasher in 2K. An insane first step, and like when you catch him on the break, a Jokic pass, I don't know, it just bolts him. Same with Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson, you really get a bolt of energy going to the basket with him too. So just having those guys, and then alongside Jamal Murray off the bench now, because they've been starting Russell Westbrook, it even fits better because you gave this guy a 3-and-D almost shooting guard. So you're not losing that shooting, and you honestly gain more defense than Christian Braun. But then on that bench, you have Jamal Murray coming off your bench, which offensively elevates this bench hugely, because at a time I have played around with Clifton Brand coming off the bench, and I have played with Christian Braun starting. However, I just think this right here, what you see the lineup right now, is the best format and the best utilization of the Nuggets to get their best bang out of their buck. I'll show you what Westbrook's averaging: 13. I'll give him 4 rebounds and 4.6 assists. Shooting 59%, and we know he can't shoot the 3 balls, which is why we have a Clifton Brand in the starting lineup. Next, we move on to probably my favorite player in the entire thing. I knew this guy was going to be on this team because I just wanted to add something fun to already a fun team. So you couldn't get better. Better than that. And that's Lawrence Butler, who is Jason Richardson from the Warriors. A lot of flashy dunks. I didn't really think this guy was going to be a big impact on defense, but he is. which has even been better because the Pacers defense is horrible. So I kind of wanted to kind of stick to their theme as well. I gave him an undersized small forward because he's not that much taller than who's truly starting for them as 6'5" small forward Benedict Mathurin. So I just gave him 1 inch taller, and that 1 inch has been a big boost to them. Butler was able to guard. He's very fast because I gave him a lot of the athletic attributes as Jason Richardson has. So he's been really just dunking the ball, catching alley-oops. He can catch it from the the small forward position. So it's kind of interesting to see that dynamic introduced to this team, and he has been a great help because Neith Smith has been injured. I know I gotta flip his injury back. I think he returned, but as you see, also they had both their bigs. Wiseman's on this team because technically I have to delete one person from each roster, so I usually do the worst player. But they had both bigs go out with Achilles injuries, so I just kept one, the better Isaiah Jackson, just so you can see him on the suit, I guess. But yeah, no, very interesting how big of a boost he has given into this offense and the defense. They sit at the 7th seed, and in real life, they also sit at the 5th seed. So just 2 off. I think they would easily catch up with the Hawks. They're tied right there. The Bucks will be a tough one, and then with the Magic having to drop, they should just slide right into that 5th seed where they are in real life. Next, we got to go to the team that's probably been the most disappointing team of the year. We thought it was the 76ers, but at least the 76ers gave us the Rookie of the Year for a month, and then he got injured. But this team has really had no hope. CJ McCollum has been putting on some big performances in real life, but Zion Williamson's also back. But I wanted to give him that true shooting big, but I can't really do that because he hasn't been here. Zion Williamson hasn't really been playing all that many games. So I give him an 85 overall, kind of a Boston Celtics-y Keldon Baldwin, because I thought this team was going to be a little bit more healthy than they were going to be, and I thought they just needed a defensive anchor cherry on top. But what it turns out to be is they need a more offensive person, as their team has not been to full strength. So he's not even really defending on the paint that well, at only 1.3 blocks. You'd expect KG to be putting up some better stats than these. Just kind of been disappointed in just the overall Pelicans play this year. They sit at the 14th seed, and I believe that is where they sit in real life as the Jazz. They sit at they sit at the 14th seed in this and in real life. So I've kind of given up on this team because it's kind of tough. Because especially within this league, if you didn't have a big man before, you probably got a big man. So even though I gave you an 85 Kevin Garnett, he is probably it's going to be tough for him to really shine against some teams, because even when you have Mark Williams, like I said, should get an upgrade. He's sitting at 82, so there's only 3 attributes higher. Really, it's kind of tough for Baldwin to really get his stuff off in the games. Now, a person that doesn't mind getting their stuff off in games is, of course, we got Cade Cunningham averaging 27, 3, and 5. But he has added, similar to how the Pacers similar style, I added just another all around just kind of scorer guy, and I did this in Gus Grant with Joe Johnson, because I really wanted to add an ISO scorer that could take the ball out of Cade's hand, but he could also catch and shoot the ball with the elite. He gives you that bigger frame than Jason Richardson was, but he's not at that athletic. But you see here, he's putting up 2.3 stats. He might be one of the best defenders in the game. I knew this team was going to be struggling a little bit, but I didn't know they were going to be actually fighting to play in the play-in. So having an 89 overall player to pair with your already 89 overall player has been a real big boost to already the more impressive season that this team has had. My biggest fear was Ron Holland being a big draft pick. He has not been, as you can see here at the stats and just his real life play. He's been that energy guy, so just having him come off the bench and have Ausar Thompson coming off the bench has been nice, because you can just plug in a ISO Joe. And I know they had he could even run the jumbo too, because I know Jaden Ivey went out, but Malik Beasley's been playing good. So I was just gonna say if those guys weren't playing good, then Ron Holland or Sarr would get put in the starting lineup for some defense. But these guys have been shooting good, so they stay. And yeah, just so where this team has been climbing up in the standings is that they have not hit their ascension in this. They sit at the 13th seed. In real life, they currently sit at the 6th seed. So they have double the amount to cover right here. But like I said, it's going to be tough. They're sitting at 5-10. They played their 16 games. A lot of these teams that you've seen have played 16 games. So they're going to need to really. They had that Nets away game. That'll probably be a big one. But only 2 games before the trade deadline, and also before All-Star break. It's kind of be tough. But later in the year, you have these wins. We'll know exactly what the 76ers are. Hopefully by March 14th. So that might be a win or loss. But you have the Jazz. That'll be a W. And you have some of these 50-50 games at the very end of the year. So we can definitely make sure this team makes or breaks the play-in. So, yeah, that's kind of just where they've been pushing. My favorite team, the Raptors, I gave them my first time ever doing a duplicate because I just felt because he's not in the game, so I don't ever do duplicates really that often with the player comps. However, I felt like I messed up on his build last year, so I wanted to make a better build, and that would be Rasheed Wallace. Sorry, just dancing around the menus right here. But we have Lyle Nadar. We had at an 88 overall. I wanted to stretch big. That's just kind of what you have to have in the NBA. He's shooting 14%. Horribly doo-doo. He's kind of been honestly what I wanted the Kevin Garnett build to be. As you can see, he's 3 overall is higher than him, but he's actually averaging a double-double, getting that 1 steal and getting that 1 block. So having that versatile, the defensive versatility, but not being able to stretch the floor like a Rasheed Wallace was able to do. But yeah, no, this team is insanely hard to score on now because you have Poto coming off the bench, and then I put them on at 11th man with Kelly Olynyk. And Chris Boucher's been playing a lot better, so I was not expecting the bigs for the Raptors to be playing good because we are lacking a big. However, this has been a big upgrade in that department, which then upgrades the entire team, which is kind of like the main goal of this, to be honest. They're at the 11th seed. They sit at the 13th seed. They do have a little bit of bias, I guess, for those. So some of them were some of the wins because they are my favorite team, but I have them not making the play-in, and I do not believe my Raptors will make the play on this postseason. So the bias in the postseason will go down with the Raptors not being in there. So that will help out a lot. So my only team that will really carry a lot of bias is the Pacers, as that's where I am from. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see a playoffs without them, because I believe they made it last year. I have a list of what their builds were last year. They had Ron Harper. Yeah, they had I think like 89 or 88 Ron Harper, who was an elite defender. So that really boosted them up that year. So this year they didn't really have that big boost. A team that has caught the big boost is the Houston Rockets, who sit at the 2 seed, and they also sit at the 2 seed in real life. They have probably one of my favorite players. Like you watched the beginning of the half, Trevor Ariza was on the Cavs. So this kind of just been a better Trevor Ariza, and that has been Danny Granger and Ronald Perkins, averaging 18, 5, and 2. I thought this team wasn't going to be as great, like similar to how the Pistons were, because those are both teams that were not that great last year. So a 2nd seed getting an 89 overall guy to add to their roster. This is the type of team that you could see a big boost and a big jump, because last year's winner was the Timberwolves, I believe, because I did not expect them to make that huge jump. And then, so I was able to add something to them that got them their championship. I'll tell you who that was when we get to them. But yeah. So this is probably my championship contending team of the year right now, because just like the Thunder might be the favorites and the Celtics might be the favorites, but you saw the Celtics only had an 80 overall. The Thunder don't have a crazy overall guy, but this team is one of the top 4 seeds with both collective conferences that has an 89 overall guy adding to that team. You see the whole entire team is on fire except for Jeff Green, who I just added into the lineup with the Jabari Smith injury. But yeah, this team is cooking on all cylinders. Their big jump has been Amen Thompson, who won a Player of the Week in one of these weeks, averaging 12, 5, and 5 with 2 steals, shooting 62%. He's just a downhill force. His brother doesn't have, I guess, the attributes or like the stuff to like where he's finishing at the cup. But as you can see here, he's finishing at the cup at 62% just on the field goal. So just amazing. I haven't really been shooting mid ranges because I know that's not his game. I tried to throw up a three-er there just to keep it honest, but yeah, no, he's just been insane. I know he plays the power forward more, but having coming off the bench as the point guard has been really elite. Well, also one of the 6 Man of the Year candidates. And 6 Man of the Year is one of the biggest awards in this because every team has one guy from their starting lineup, unless you're the Celtics, getting knocked down to your bench, which is huge. Then we got the Spurs. And with the Spurs, they've had a big jump of Wemby, another big, huge jump. They sit at the 9th seed in my league, and they sit at the 12th seed in the real life. I hope they can catch up to the Warriors because, like I said on Friday Night Futon in one of my podcasts, I think they're the most dangerous teams to play in the play-in because you just don't. Because if there's a player that you don't want to see for one game, it's going to be Victor Wembanyama because he can put up that one game that you just can't do anything about. But his help has been this year has been Winston Brockman, and that has been James Worthy. And similar to with the defense of the Rudy Gay, I wish he was getting more blocks than 0.3. But I know that's kind of hard to do with Victor Wembanyama on your team. But Winston Brockman's been very fun. More like he's more of a power forward in today's NBA, but I do have him running the small forward because I like the playmaking of Shohan. But he does not hurt this team at all because he lets Keldon Johnson truly come off the bench and be getting more buckets. I know that's a big drop off from his other years, but it's how the game works. It's just because I don't play with them as much. And Stephon Castle, being a rookie, to also average 9 is good. So, yeah, so Brockman just adds a lot of different versatility to this team that this team doesn't have. It adds a scorer, it adds another defender, it adds a elite perimeter defender that can guard wings. So when this team does hopefully make the play-in, I expect them to win their play-in game, and I expect this team to honestly be a playoff team this year because I gave them an 89 overall, and then this might be one of the last years that Victor Wembanyama gets kind of one of these guys at these 89 overall levels. I think from here on out, we could see him getting from his highest guy could be 85 or 86 or just maybe even 84, depending on how good their offseason is, because that really depicts on what these overall players are going to be, because I picked them before the season starts. So just really interesting with the Spurs in general. Devin Vassell hasn't been that great in real life, but I always make sure to get my buckets with him because he just has some insane shifty shooter and deadeye badges, which are elite. And then Chris Paul has been interesting in this year's 2K because they haven't flipped him to like how his game has flipped in real life. Not the mid-range shooter he was, but the three-point shooting volume has gone up. So I've kind of tried to play with that, but his stats don't allow him to do that. So his stats look really bad here. But he is getting those 8.4 assists. But yeah, I wish he was getting more than 5 a game because he does get more than 5 a game in real life. Next we got the Suns, who sit at the 12th seed, and in real life they sit at the 8th seed. So gotta start putting more respect on their name. I made them lose a lot of games right here. They played a lot of games because right here at the beginning of January they were dropping, and then I tried to pick it up here with these Brooklyn Nets win and this Raptors win. Hasn't been enough. Don't think they're gonna beat the Thunder either, so they're going to even go down further just because like I said, it's easier to raise a team than drop a team, and I need the Thunder to stay at that number 1 seed above the Rockets so it can stay that way. But yeah, look, those next 3 games, those are the 3 contending playoff teams right there. So that's going to be really tough for them, and their season's almost over. This team, have they played some of the most games this year? I believe they have. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they have played a good amount of games, probably more than any other team in this simulation. And their player that I have yet to get to yet has been Shane Whitehead, who is Boris Diaw. Similar to the Trevor Ariza example, I don't think Boris Diaw has ever been an 88 overall, but I know he has a Ruby 88 overall card, so this is kind of how this card's been based off of. 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists coming from that power forward position, shooting 60% from 3. He had been a knockdown 3-point shooter, not really what I expected him to be. I shouldn't probably have copied it off the Ruby card, but I did, and we learned from our mistakes from that. But as you saw, the team's not doing all that great. Nick Richards being on this team, he had a fun game with them that I just played with. So hopefully these games down here will all turn into some W's, because this team really needs it. And I do want to see this team in the playoffs or even play in just for one last time, because I feel like I haven't really gotten the full use of them this year. And there's always that one team that their schedule just lines up in such a weird way that I don't get the full playthrough of them. But yeah, I added Boris Diaw because I wanted another playmaker that wasn't the guard position, because I knew they just needed more of that, and that's what he's just been able to add. And just good Kevin Durant season and good Devin Booker season, just helping both of those guys out, and can play that. And when before they had Nick Richards, he was playing some small ball 5 at 6'9", because Nurkic has been out for some time. And I didn't really want to start Mason Plumlee. I'd rather run small than big with this team. The big one, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'll show you what he's averaging. He's pretty much averaging what he's averaging from the last season. But they added, I know, I probably shouldn't have given them an 85 overall guy, but I just wanted to... I felt like I couldn't have given this guy without him being an 85. That makes sense. I gave them Tony Kukoc. He does too many things. When I started adding all of the badges onto a 6'10" frame person, it really bumps up that overall. So that's kind of just why that is. But 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. He's just been kind of fun. He's really tall and really skinny, as you can see here. So just kind of adding another lengthy, skinny body. It's kind of funny because Jalen Williams has the stature of a small forward, even a shooting guard, 6'5", but he has that weight of a power forward to small forward, and then he has the height of a power forward, but does not have the weight. So that's kind of why I matched that to in the way that is. Because I knew Hartenstein wasn't going to be here at the beginning of the season, so I still wanted them to have some height and stuff. So, but he is now here, but still, it still balances out because Chet Holmgren got injured, and they still have a bigger body to rely on, a taller body to rely on is what I'll say. But yeah, he adds a different offensive clip to their team. Really scared that they will trade for Cam Johnson, because that will really kind of make this player's build useless. Not useless, because it's going to be another jumbo shooting big. But with the Thunder having so many options as it is already, I do find it hard to shoot with Zayd McCall, because it kind of gets into a rhythm. Because with the longer jump shots, you kind of have... for me personally, I have to find the lengthier, like the slower jump shots. They come a bit later in the game than like the quick shooting guards or point guards. But so yeah, so he already has trouble doing that, so I don't want them to do another splash. But yeah, definitely a team that is going to be scary in the playoffs. I mean, without a doubt. Then we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like I said, winning their championship last year, I gave them Mark Price. So that Mike Conley came off the bench, and I think he was he was a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year that year. I don't know if he won it or not in my league, but he might have. But I think I should have done it this year as well. Like I said, they did the David West trade for the Alvin Robertson trade. So right now they're sitting at what was going to be the Knicks, Nate Temple and David West, who's been averaging 8, 5, and 1. He has yet to shoot a 3, but shooting 46% from the field goal. Just a big guy, big mid-range shooter, just a pure like 4. Going back to it, I wish I gave them a guard. Did not know how bad Mike Conley was going to be this year, but he's coming off the bench because of Julius Randle, and just because like you can't really have Julius Randle, like I don't know, like you just see like the lineups here. I thought their bench needed some help because they didn't really give Rob Dillingham all that much play. Terrence Shannon Jr. they don't give much play, and then knocking him down to here would just, I feel like, help out this bench more, but it's honestly taken away from Naz Reid, averaging 11 and 5. I mean, he's still getting his stuff off, but I feel like he could truly be getting 11 and 10 because he's getting 5 rebounds. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like a little give or take on that regard, I guess. That this build is not given its full potential because it is kind of playing next to a Naz Reid type body. However, defensively, very good because Naz Reid kind of is an undersized center. Now having this like basically matching body build at the 4, you can kind of run a perfect post defense there, which has been fun. But yeah, Mark Price last year won the championship, and I do not believe that this team, it might not even make the playoffs if we're being, and it might lose its first playoff series if we're being all serious. They sit at the 10th seed, and they sit at the 7th seed in real life. And this team has not been fun to play with. Julius Randle is always a player that gives me the business when I play against him, but I can never really get going with him, but I always get going with Anthony Edwards because how can you not? But because Julius Randle, like, he gets tired and Gobert gets tired quickly. Gobert's not all that fun to use in 2K, just more of a defensive guy. So I don't know, just this team's just been dead, bland in the water. I see this is kind of their big clump game right here, and I see a lot of L's other than that Jazz and Nets. I see a lot of L's. So they're probably going to make this a 5-game losing streak. I mean, that's going to be bad for them. But I don't know. This team hasn't been that fun. I'll make sure to make Minnesota Timberwolves create a player amazing next year because this team has really shot themselves in the foot with the Kara Anthony trade and really has honestly then hurt their create a player stock as well, which is the main purpose of this. Then we have our final rapper. We have Lil Wayne as Tremont Walker, and that would be Larry Nance Jr. as his player comp. This team sits at this 13th seed in the West, and they currently sit at the 13th seed in the West. Okay, perfect. Just like this team's in real life, just they can catch you on a fun night, which is perfect because Tremont Walker can have a fun dunking game where I can actually use Scoot Henderson as a playmaker. Him getting a boost because he has a lob threat here because DeAndre Ayton's kind of just a bland big in 2K now. Denny Avdia running pick and roll, so Tremont Walker is also really elite in this game, and same for Anthony Simons. So this is really just lob threat, defensive threat, jumping out the gym type player. Yeah, so this team could be interesting if they picked it up a little bit, but don't see this team making the play in. It pushes Jeremy Grant down to the bench, who could have been probably the biggest 6th man of the year candidate in this league at an 82 overall, coming off the bench and making all that money for just 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. I mean, it's shooting 30% from 3. Not the year that you were expecting from Jeremy Grant coming off this bench, especially when you look at this bench, non-scorer. I think of him as a playmaker. You have Shaedon Sharpe, who would be probably your elite scorer coming off the bench. We all know Matisse Thybulle was a negative scorer, if anything. Jeremy Grant, he would be able to get all this stuff. And then Don McLean, you don't know what you're going to get from a rookie. So I thought he could really have a chance to get some. In fact, I don't even know why we're starting with Matisse Thybulle. It should definitely be Kamara because he has been the one that has actually been playing good basketball. So I don't know. This team, it's really stuck for them. I really want them to get a good draft pick. I feel bad wasting this kind of like Larry Nance Jr. build on them, but I probably will give them something similar the next year. Just because I feel like they're so front loaded on the guard position already as well. So just giving them another wing, maybe Jeremy Grant has a bounce back season next year. I don't know. There's not much hope for that team. A team that also is losing hope the game by game is the Warriors, who lost last night to the Lakers. They sit at the 11th seed in this, and they sit in the 11th seed in this. Okay, they sit perfectly 6-6. I dabbled with them last year, and I gave them Robert Parrish, and I really just wanted to go full throttle. I was done giving I give him like a bad Robert Parrish, like an 80 something Robert Parrish. Like, I mean, they're all 80, but like a low 80. And then I just wanted to go all in. I wanted to give him one of the best centers of all time, and it still hasn't been even that fun to play with him on this team. I gave them Wallace Haywood, and he is supposed to be Hakeem the Dream, and he does not play like Hakeem the Dream. He averaging 17, 9, and only 1 assist. Shoots 25% from 3, so I guess you get a little bit of that like fun space in the floor, but I don't know. He's just been kind of a sluggish almost build. I thought he was going to be a little bit more craftier in the paint, but clearly the Warrior system is not meant for a emphasized big, because the pick and roll of Draymond Green is still better than the Wallace Haywood pick and roll, and it's sad to say that. Just having a Steph Curry slump of a season for me personally. I'm shooting 43% from him from 3. But this is, I mean, Warriors are always a team in 2K that, like, because of Curry, you can easily win games. Like, it should not be hard to find a plug-in player here, but it is. It's all I've tried to do it back-to-back years with a center, so, and this is what the team needs. I mean, the team needs a center. I mean, Trayce Jackson-Davis is playing amazing, energetic big, but having him come off the bench, also at that energetic big, is fine. Having Kevon Looney not even play like any minutes, I feel like you get some, like, I don't know where you would find this team. This is my number 1 team in the comments. What player do you think should you see on this team? If Curry, of course, still is on this team, because that's really all I care about. Like, at this point, I could give him a shooting guard, have Perdana Przexin go to the bench. I could have Aaron Wiggins go to the bench. And then I guess the only position right here, that's like locked up, is the power forward because of Draymond. And even when they aren't playing Draymond, they play Jonathan Kuminga. So it's hard. I can't really give them a power forward in that aspect. They have a bunch of away games coming up here. That's not gonna be good for them. And they slow off their. Oh, they play the best. They play the second best team in the West too at the very end of the year. Yeah, they have a tough schedule as well. I thought they sit at 6-6 already with the. Yeah, they didn't play at all at the beginning of the year at all, and they sit only 6-6. That's pretty bad for not playing that many games. For only playing 12 games, and most teams in the league had played 16. Very tough for them. Don't know. They could also make the play-in, but like I said, I want the Spurs to make it more than them, just because how struggling they've been in my league. Last one, very much like the Brooklyn Nets guy, just the number 1 option, Corbin Edwin. This is, I kind of wanted to just add a fun guy rather than a good basketball player like Alex English. I thought Alex English could be like, he'd actually get the Nets wins, and that's what he did. Corbin Edwin's just a fun guy to play with. I mean, he could also get them wins, but it's Dominique Wilkins is his player comp. And yeah, he's averaging 17, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists, dunking the ball fine. Dominique Wilkins is never a great shooter, so you'll take 37% from him. Wish he shot the free throw a lot better, because he does end up there a lot, because he's attacking the basket a lot. Kyle Kuzma playing really good in the simulation, even though he has not been playing good in real life, and it's been the opposite for Jordan Poole, who's been playing as you see, his stats are not that bad, but 35% from 3 as a point guard is really bad in these simulations. But kind of regret doing this because I like the season that Bilal Koulibaly had. He died down, and then he's just kind of been having these fun glimpses here and there. But yeah, no, the Wizards they currently sit at the bottom, I believe, and they will stay at the bottom. And in real life, they stay at the bottom. Yeah, so they have 6 wins in real life. So I do not see they might end up with 6 wins in this thing or less than 6 wins in this thing, to be honest. But which is kind of sad to say because they gave him a 91 overall player. I played some games with him. I played like 2 games with him, and he's like it's Dominique Wilkins. I mean, it really does like just you're dunking here and there, but you're just getting blown out. So I don't know. Just I could have probably done a better impact player with this team, but I knew this team wasn't going to be very impactful on the NBA in general. So I just wanted to give them something at least to look forward to when I play with them. So that's kind of what I did here. Before we go off and end this video, my next video will be around trade deadline. 100% we'll do a trade deadline video. And then probably back-to-back very soon videos. We'll do an all-star video. But right now, I'll show you guys where the all-star voting kind of ranks for right now. I believe it is in League News. Yes. So, and the AI players will be in here if they put up the good enough stats. But we have Shea, we have Devin Booker. I'm just giving you guys some lowdown on just their stats. We'll stop when we get our first creative player. Can't believe Jamal Murray's in here coming off the bench like I showed you, averaging only 18. I have the power to override, and there will be players that will be overridden, like a 18 point per game Bradley Beal making it into the playoff games. Yeah, no creative players coming off of the backcourts because it's very hard to make a backcourt in the West. And I believe there weren't even that many that I made in general. For the front court, you will see some creative players in here. You got LeBron, you got Nikola Jokic. Our first one is Pickett for the very good Grizzlies right now. So it's fun to see that the bully ball thing that I had that to pair with Jaren Jackson has been working. And like I said, I had a really fun game against him with the Pelicans because it finally gave me somebody to stop Zion because he is a Zion-esque body. Then we have just all the rest are also creative players. He definitely will not make it just because, like I said, how bad the Pelicans have been and how bad this build I honestly think has been performing. Even though they've given him the All-Star nod. Shane Whitehead is an interesting one because just how like mid the Suns have been, and they have no way they're getting 3 All-Stars, and according to this, they're getting 4 All-Stars, which is no way that's happened. They'll get Kevin Durant, and they might get Devin Booker, but I'm stopping the line there. Now, Ronald Perkins has a real case to be there, averaging truly 18, 5, and 2 with the second best team in the East, and that team also doesn't have a guy to lean on to. So, like, this can be that basically their guy to like lean on to. That number 1-2 go-to guy. Jalen Green had that really good in real life stretch where he's putting on some 40-point games, but I didn't really get the same impact. I gave him. I tried to use him a lot better. I gave him I think 26-point games, but it's hard because, like I said, the number one option on this team is Ronald Perkins when it comes down to it. Then Winston Brockman. If the Spurs were doing a little bit better, you could maybe have an argument. But like I said, two All-Stars for a team that's not doing all that great, and 17 points is not standing out to me. I know 18 is not that much different, but he also bet worse on rebounds, even though he's supposed to be a better rebounder. Just kind of interesting just to see where he's also kind of in this realm of people. Going on to the Eastern Conference, we got the backcourt. We got Damian Lillard at the number 1, which is kind of crazy because LaMelo Ball is there. I would never see Damian Lillard getting the most amount of votes in the East. But then we keep going down, and we see Blake Palmer here. And I could honestly really see them because you can't give the All-Star nod to Paolo or Franz because they just haven't played that many games. But like I said, he's another person that's just been able to keep them afloat, almost averaging 20 points and 8 assists. What a steal! Really good. I wish he was a little bit more aggressive, even though he is averaging 19. We're talking about a Pistol Pete Maravich build that has had full reign for some of these games with Franz and Paulo Banchero out of the game. I think we could easily be talking about a 20 point per game score, especially when we see LaMelo Ball averaging 20. We see a lot of these players averaging 20. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton, kind of in that same. He's been playing better than Tyrese Halliburton, so that it does know where he is scoring at a high rate. They got Lawrence Butler down here, another creative player. He'd be insanely fun to have in the All-Star game. However, don't think he's going to make the cut just because the stats aren't really there, and the Pacers kind of picked it up late in the season, and I can only see them really getting Tyrese Halliburton because he has those assists to really lean back on too. Then we go over to the front court for this East, and that's where you kind of see it get flooded over by the creative players. We got Corbin Edwin. I would tell you he's not going to make it because the Wizards are horrible. But Lucas Wesley, the Nets won enough games at the beginning of their season and were competitive and were fun, and he has been putting up he's been easily the best creative player in the entire thing, so got to give him the nod. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, like I said. Alex English really been cooking it here in the Lucas Wesley build. I mean, it's fun. This is kind of what we see. It's the teams that we wouldn't even expect to get an All-Star get one of these All-Stars because they just playing amazing basketball. Same with Gasper Keefe. He averaging 24 and 3, been able to keep that Bulls team up afloat. And the reason why he's in a higher 92 rather than a 90, first of all, is because I don't really tweak it off of if you're playing good, it's going to go up. Of course, if you're shooting good, then your overall is going to go up. I don't tweak that after that happens. But I also just thought what the Bulls needed and Bulls wanted, they needed a true 92 overall. They needed if they wanted to be competitive and still have Zach LaVine and Vucevic, which is what they still have, and they won't get a 92 overall player if they trade either of those players because that shows that they're going in a different direction. But the direction they're trying to go is they're trying to play competitive basketball, and to play competitive basketball, you need a 92 overall Paul Pierce build. So he might be making the All-Star game. Gus Grant, don't know if he will. I kind of just want to give the nod to Cade Cunningham just because he's just been really taking the load, and 17's been helping him out a lot, don't get me wrong, but not an All-Star worthy. And 11 and 10 is not going to make it in the All-Star game, and it's her as hell Bam Adebayo is not going to be making it with that 13 and 9. But yeah, it's kind of just some buns down here. I mean, Gus Grant, with no doubt, should be here, but Nadar, no. So it'll be interesting who the game really gives it to when it really comes down to push to shove. I hope I can see the dunk contest. Maybe not. We'll show you award races right now. We got no creative players in the MVP race, but we have Giannis taking it by storm, averaging 27, 13, and 5. Victor Wembanyama, I would say, is probably the third because I would say Shea Gilgeous is that second, averaging those stats as you see there. Going on a Rookie of the Year was going to be Jared McCain, but it won't be him. It'll Zachary Ricochet because I've just been playing a lot with the Hawks. I think is why he's here, but I think it's going to have to go to Stephon Castle, who's been really putting an all-around impact defensively and offensively for the Spurs, and it's just been nice to see just his overall game increase. I hope he gets a upgrade increase with this next roster update because 80 overall seems low for him. And we have these two guys who had some buzz in the year at some point. Now, like I said, biggest award in this simulation. We got Amen Thompson winning this award like I said he was going to do. Russell Westbrook, even though he's in the starting lineup, has played enough bench games. You got Bradley Beal, who I officially moved down there, averaging 18. And a creative player, D'Anthony Thomas, also getting his burn off there. So, yeah, this one I could definitely see shifting, but I think it's Amen Thompson's award to run away with. I mean, only player in this list to have won a Player of the Week in the league. So just and he's doing it also on all ends and all facets. And as you can see, is averaging, other than the points, averaging those stats are much better. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to back out of that. Then we got a Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, I won't even spend that much time on this. We know it's going to be Victor Wembanyama, and it's hard to not even get Victor Wembanyama the Defensive Player of the Award in 2K, averaging 3 and 2.5 steals. You never see a big man stealing the ball like that in 2K. You never do. So even with Giannis averaging 1.6, like, it's insane to see what he's doing here. Then we got Most Improved, which also probably go to a men. In real life, probably going to go to Cade Cunningham. But Isaiah, like, I like to give it to these random type players that just been playing good with their team, So I might override this to be Isaiah Joe, because he's just shooting amazing splits this year. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and like that's like those are the type of players that really push that OKC up there to be that number 1 seed. Similar like how we saw with like the Celtics, what really pushes them up there is Drew Holiday and Derek White playing at their top level. So having your other random role players like Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe playing at their best basketball, most improved basketball, then that's like the type of stuff that gets you to a championship type level. Then we got the Clutch Player of the Year. I'm glad it's Shea because I do remember scoring a buzzer beater with him. And I'm glad Tyler Hero is here as well because I believe I've actually hit 2 buzzer beaters with him. So I would not be mad if either of those players won the game. I do not know how you would classify Giannis as clutch or Lawrence or Maxey. Maxey has been clutch because if the 76ers want to win a game, Maxey's going to have to be clutch in that game. However, I probably will say it's probably going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just because even in the close games he's closing out when and it's not a close game, just in the crunch time he's the one that separates that chunk away from them. And that clutch moments is kind of leads more to him. And I remember hitting a buzzer beater with him. So yeah, that gives you where we are in the awards and where we are just in the league entirely. Like I said, we'll be back with the trade deadline video. It'll be very similar. I'll try to do it's very hard to do 1-of-1 with the picks because it doesn't allow all the picks in a thing. But you will definitely see the players on the right team and I probably will play with some of the players before they even play a real game with their team, to be honest. And then we have the All-Star break. And I know for the All-Star dunk contest, we should be seeing Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, Scoot Henderson, and Shaden Sharp. I know both, like, 2 players from 2 of the same teams. So we're not getting that much variety of team there, but I think it gave us a good mix of dunkers. And then the 3-point shooting contest, I know there's some creative players in there. I think there's 1 or 2. But I know the number 1 person on that top of the list is LeBron James, which I just find it hilarious that they have him in the 3-point shooting contest. So that should be interesting as well. And the Rising Stars will be interesting because I forget last year it did count all these new creative players as newer players, even though they're 11-time pros or whatever. So it'll be interesting. Sometimes they're in the Rising Stars game, but they should definitely you should be seeing some in the All-Star game. And I don't know if 2K25 has it updated, but I already when the draft process was in the game, I still try to draft as close as I can with the conferences. But yeah, thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. I know it's been kind of a long one. The trade deadline shouldn't be as long, and the All-Star weekend might be long, but yeah, stick around. If you want to watch true gameplay of this My League, I'm not just going to be talking around it on this channel, but link in the bio will be to Gibless the Clown Gaming, where you can see me. I'll be live streaming some of these games, and I'll just have recorded gameplay of these games. But yeah, thank you very much for like and subscribe.